Do you believe that Allah guides and misguides people, and that He guided you because you so desperately wanted to know the truth, but that He misguides other people, like me, who also desperately wanted to know the truth? Because that is what the Quran describes. And it describes us as sick, deaf, dumb, and blind. Do you believe that people who do not believe are deaf, dumb, and blind and sick, and that you are very special?
Critics of Islam often argue that the Quran presents an unfair system where Allah guides some and misguides others without reason, implying that belief and disbelief are predetermined and beyond human control. They point to verses like, "And whomever Allah guides, he is the rightly guided, and whomever he sends astray, you will find for them no protectors besides him." Quran 77. Additionally, they claim that the Quran insults non-believers by calling them deaf, dumb, and blind, suggesting that Islam views non-Muslims as sick-minded, dishonest individuals who know Islam is true but reject it out of arrogance. This leads to emotional questions. Does Islam teach that disbelievers are inherently evil and deserve condemnation? If Allah decides who is guided and who is not, how is that fair? If your non-Muslim parents raised you with love and kindness, are they liars who hide the truth? These accusations might sound convincing at first, but when we analyze the Quran holistically, we see that they rely on misinterpretations and emotional manipulation. Today, we will shatter this misconception with logic, Quranic evidence, and clear reasoning. By the end of this video, you will understand that Allah's guidance is based on people's choices, not randomness. The descriptions of disbelievers as blind or deaf are metaphors for those who reject truth knowingly. Islam commands respect for non-Muslim parents, not hatred or arrogance. Let's begin. A. The Quran clearly affirms free will. The first thing we must establish is that Allah does not force belief or disbelief upon anyone. If He did, there would be no point in judgment or accountability. Instead, the Quran repeatedly affirms that belief is a choice. There is no compulsion in religion. The right path has become distinct from the wrong. Quran 2:2-56. And say, "The truth is from your Lord, so let whoever wills believe, and let whoever wills disbelieve." Quran 18:29. These verses clearly state that guidance is a decision each person makes. If belief were forced, why would Allah tell people to choose? B. What does it mean that Allah misguides people? When the Quran says that Allah leads people astray, it does not mean that He unjustly forces disbelief upon them. Rather, it means that Allah allows people to follow the path they choose. Those who repeatedly reject guidance are left in their misguidance. Look at this verse. Allah does not wrong people at all, but it is the people who wrong themselves. Quran 10:44. Similarly, and when they deviated, Allah made their hearts deviate. Quran 61:5. Notice the sequence. First they deviated, then Allah let them persist in their deviation. Allah does not misguide people randomly. He simply allows those who reject the truth to follow the path they have chosen. A. The Quran uses metaphors to describe spiritual states. One of the biggest misunderstandings comes from verses that say disbelievers are deaf, dumb, and blind, so they will not return to the right path. Quran 2:18. Does this mean that non-Muslims are literally disabled? Of course not. These are metaphors, not insults. The Quran frequently uses symbolic language. For example, if someone refuses to acknowledge clear evidence, we say they are turning a blind eye. If someone ignores good advice, we say they are turning a deaf ear. If someone refuses to speak the truth, we say they are mute on the issue. Similarly, when the Quran describes disbelievers as blind, deaf, or dumb, it means that they choose to ignore the truth despite having the ability to recognize it. They have hearts with which they do not understand, eyes with which they do not see, and ears with which they do not hear. Quran 7:79. This is not a biological condition, it is a spiritual one. The Quran is not dehumanizing disbelievers. It is saying that when people stubbornly reject the truth, they are acting as if they are blind, unable to see truth, deaf, unwilling to listen to it, and mute, unwilling to speak it. Let's summarize the key points. Misconception. Allah arbitrarily decides who is guided and who is not. Truth. Guidance is based on a person's willingness to accept the truth. Misconception. The Quran insults non-Muslims as deaf, dumb, and blind. Truth. These are metaphors describing people who knowingly reject the truth. Misconception. Islam teaches that non-Muslim parents are liars. Truth. Islam commands kindness and respect to all parents, regardless of faith. Allah does not force anyone into belief or disbelief. Those who seek truth sincerely will find guidance, while those who reject it knowingly are left in their misguidance. Like this video if it helped clarify misconceptions. Share this with those who have doubts about Islam. Comment below with your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe to stay updated with more powerful rebuttals to anti-Islamic claims. Let's expose falsehood together. Assalamu alaikum.